My wife just slid her hand between my back and my pillow while I'm here playing some Xbox, and it got me wondering, what sort of stuff does your partner do that makes you smile? Story 1. She brings me a cup of coffee in bed when I am really tired or do not feel well. I think it is really special because she does not drink coffee. She only drinks tea. The only reason she learned how to make coffee was to make it for me. Story 2. She has one of those octopus stuffed animals that has a happy face on one side and a grumpy face on the other. We live separately, and whenever I get to her apartment after a few days apart, she turns it from grumpy to happy. Story 3. I wake up much earlier than she does, but when she sees me in the morning, she will sometimes say, "Good morning, baby," in the softest voice, which melts my heart and puts a smile on my face. Story 4. When we go to bed at night, she has to be touching me in some way just to make sure she knows I'm there. Usually this is her cold foot on my leg, but I don't mind. I've been sending her the tally of upvotes all afternoon, and she's amazed. Wow, thanks for all the love, everyone. My first medal and hug, so humbled. Story 5. We have a blanket that is kind of beige and fluffy, almost like the coating on fried chicken. As she is falling asleep on the sofa under the blanket, she will often say, "Look, I'm a nugget." Story 6. Music lives inside her. Anytime she's not doing anything else, she'll sing, hum, or just sway to some beat, even if it's only the one in her head. Or when she'll find ways to ambush me with hugs. Story 7. Whenever she says or does something smart, not like everyday common sense kind of smart, but this kind of improvisational intelligence and mental flexibility that just seems so rare in this world, I'm frequently impressed, and she never ceases to bring a smile to my face. Story 8. She gets ready for work about an hour before I do. She will put her pillow over my eyes when she turns the light on. I always wake up before she leaves, but knowing she thinks about me during her morning rush fills my bucket for the day. Story 9. I love it when she kisses my forehead and lets me hold her hand. Also, she is a killer baker. I love eating the sweet stuff that she will make on the fly. One night when I got home from work, she had made a chocolate cake with peanut butter frosting, and it was the best dessert I had ever had. Story 10. My wife and I drive a lot together. Road trips or errands, you name it, but I always drive. She takes my center arm, wraps both her arms around it, and squeezes. She will hold me for hours if we are driving, and I love it. Story 11. She loved animals so much, especially baby animals. Whenever there was a puppy or something and she didn't want to make a scene, I would see her start to go red from holding in all the gushing and love she wanted to shower the pup with. One of my favorite pictures I took of her was when she had just broken out into happy tears because there was a duckling that was so small it tripped on the lip of a lily pad and she just couldn't handle it. Sorry if I worried anyone with my past tense. She's doing just fine, but we went our separate ways a few months back as friends. Seeing as we aren't together anymore and I haven't seen her since, I thought past tense fit best. Story 12. My wife talks to our dog and cats like they are people. She will have full-on conversations with them. She will ask them questions and then answer for them in what she thinks they would sound like. It's amazing. Story 13. My wife loves birds and will constantly refer to herself or me as Bird. So, sometimes you will try to compliment her with a "you look good," or "I like that dress on you," and she will always slyly add Bird to the end of it. So, your compliment will be, "You look good today, Bird." It is so adorable. Story 14. He tucks me in a very specific way every night, and again in the morning if he is up before me. He makes me tea every morning before making himself coffee. He always makes sure my favorite snacks are in a little compartment on the passenger side of his truck, pocket snacks. He draws me baths and will sit in the bathroom with me and talk, or play the guitar and sing. Just the little things, really. Quality time and physical touch are my love languages, and this man speaks them well. Edit. I am not a man, so pardon my mistake for not realizing which sub this was. Story 15. Her hiccups are more like squeaks, and it makes me smile every single time because it's something that is so wholly unique to her, and it happens without a hint of self-consciousness. Also, she does the human version of tippy taps whenever she's excited about something. It's adorable. Story 16. Every time my wife sees me, Even if I just briefly walk away to another aisle at the grocery store and meet her in the next one. She always gets the biggest goofy grin on her face. It melts my heart every single time. Story 17. This might be a bit common, but whenever I'm stressed, angry, or feeling down in general, she will scratch my hair, beard, or arms as she knows how much it calms me down. Also, I have some mental issues and it gets bad sometimes, to a point where I will just shut off. She will first tell me that she's going to touch me now and slowly puts her hand on my shoulders or cheek, then pulls me close and holds me. She also makes a lot of "that's what she said" jokes and does them well. One of my favorites is whenever I hold my hand out, she'll plop her face right on it and has this cutest look ever on her face. When I caress her cheek, she'll close her eyes and lean into it. In fact, sometimes when we're walking around holding hands and she wants some loving, she'll just caress her own cheek with my hand. Whenever we say the same thing or react to something in the same way, we'll both go "aw" and kiss. I can go on and on. That girl knows all the little things about me, even things I didn't know before. I can't help but fall in love with her over and over again. Story 18. I'm single right now, but when a woman seeks my touch, it's something that always makes me feel warm inside. Like if we're walking together and she seeks out my hand to hold or tightens the connection. Story 19. She cleans my glasses for me when she sees they are dirty. It's such a small, simple act of love. And when she's done, the world literally looks more beautiful. Story 20. When we buy something tasty and she gets all excited, I have a billion pictures of her stuffing her face because she's so adorable when she enjoys food. Story 21. She is a very shy and introverted person, but sometimes she just breaks into some random dorky dance move. I know nobody is ever going to see that except me, and it makes me smile that I make her so comfortable that she does that. Story 22. My wife always adds sound effects to her actions. She will often add a whooshing or a hiya anytime she does simple things like putting away a shirt or throwing something in the trash. Laser guns are another frequent sound I hear coming from another room. Each time I hear a pew-pew, it makes me smile and chuckle to myself. Story 23. I love the comments from men here. So many of you describe how you feel inside when your partner does something. Since men are often less outwardly expressive, it just makes my heart skip and dance around knowing how deeply you feel about little things and little gestures. Story 24. I reach down and playfully touch her, but a lot. When she is in a particularly good mood or feeling receptive, she always wiggles it in return, and that just makes me so stupidly happy. Story 25. When my partner jumps into bed, she cocoons, only having her head not covered in blankets. If I ask her to do something, she'll go, "I can't. I'm just a head." It is probably the dumbest inside joke we have, but it is one of my favorites. Story 26. When she encourages me in one of my hobbies, be it guitar or photography, she is always there with compliments and constructive criticism. I have a lot of self-doubt, so it just makes me feel all fuzzy inside, especially when I know it is something she does not really care about and is still positive. Story 27. Like pretty much any time that she touches me randomly, like if she touches my back or especially my shoulders, I'm very much a physical touch person. When I get touched on my torso at all, I love it. It's one of those things that reminds me of my childhood and my grandma, who would always scratch my back if I sat next to her. Since I love it, it makes me feel great because I'm not asking for her to do it. Story 28. Sometimes when I roll over in the middle of the night, or when he goes to roll over, I'll wake up because I'm a light sleeper. He usually doesn't know I'm awake, but he kisses my cheek, or my forehead, or sometimes even my lips. Sometimes he brushes my cheek with his thumb or brushes my hair out of the way before getting cozy again. This is my favorite thing. Story 29. Whenever my girlfriend notices that I'm stressed or down, which is fairly often due to depression and anxiety, she will encourage me to have a big cuddle and let me lay on her chest while she plays with my hair and asks me what's wrong. After I explain, she will usually say, "Okay, well, let's break it down one thing at a time," and goes out of her way to fully support me through those tough moments. I absolutely love her with every cell in my body. I often worry she's too good for somebody like me. Story 30. Not a man, but was casually reading replies. My boyfriend sat next to me while on the phone with health insurance. He put his hand on my thigh, and when I leaned into him, he cupped his arm under my head and started petting my hair. I love him. Story 31. My husband said in his wedding vows that he feels he can express his feelings with me and doesn't have to hide behind the act like a man stuff. He also loves falling asleep in my arms while I scratch his head and back. He says it makes him feel loved and safe. Story 32. When she dances, she isn't a professional or anything, but sometimes she does it when I'm in the room and we have music playing, or sometimes I'll just happen to walk in the room and she is just dancing away, feeling the music. My favorite is when I'm not in the room and she doesn't notice I'm watching her. She gets embarrassed once she finally catches on that I'm watching. It never fails to bring a smile to my face. Story 33. She's very community-oriented. She's on committees, boards, and in volunteer groups, and it makes me smile seeing her devoting her spare time to helping others and our community. She's the best. Just bought her engagement ring last week. Story 34. Mine is when she gets new makeup products and she is explaining to me what they do, and it is always something super particular. I always find it so cute and lovely. Story 35. She loves to cook and eats anything. I love to cook, but pretty much only eat potatoes and pasta. I can cook her anything that looks interesting without wasting food. It lets me explore so many cooking styles. Story 36. My husband enjoys hiding my nightgown under his pillow when we go to bed. I look for it on my pillow, and it's not there. I know it's him, and he lies on the bed with a Cheshire cat smile, so proud of himself. I can't help but smile at his shenanigans. Story 37. Protobake atu bebro tlika iperdi tebu. Ebaq perdeta to pibake pu. Gagujubu abla a to klate titata. Eg keka gau popu a platogri. Alprotraitla ubridriut loidugri ibibre. Plabut peeper ko a gupatloi. Tapokro kotapabe ipra bekudlaelbi. Bloy iui tipper bakoki by oid ige kra. Oapadra tipperi prebaprudo ku a bet. Kelly blabuti tuta krugita babu gotiki. Gea itoki kudo biguti. Degiu tribperi tidubli. Turupide vedrati duda krike tibripu. Ago pi be dau kai kadradli I priki. Ekrituti di epekikiteo te boy glududu. Guga bidebri kribukagi bi ego. Tokyo pre gatlago gapiko a pugidai egleo copa. Etega butra dridegidlago eteoe. Bidapebuti peki gluga kiplai pitu de bruti. Agri a prepi dlu tabip. Ugepobi koa o teki kagatadi. Ape tloba pai api tebibuka. Bab bububeka bubikupra akia uitri. Plicky boo jupi bray priet labo. Ui iplai o apregible pre oda ebe tipa. Babu tu biabakai peku poblato jijuolku. Taikro abi gijgai u ita tabe. Uo tu diegidu glau tu pu. Kadi taiokutuji ia kai pukriai tijipupi. Io ichu tejai batrutu. Story 38. Now that his hair is long, he obsesses over it. We met when he was in the military and he never had long hair. He has the most gorgeous curly brown hair and he always thinks it looks funny or weird. I try to reassure him and tell him it looks amazing, but he never believes me. I think it's absolutely adorable and a little infuriating how he has to fix it before we go out in public. He started a new job today and a couple of guys he has never met complimented him on it. He called me during his break and was absolutely beaming. I'm so glad he got a self-esteem boost from this. Story 39. I have been divorced for 9 years, and it's left me reluctant to date for all the usual bad relationship trauma reasons. You are all giving me hope that I'll find these kinds of tender people again. Story 40. Woman here, but can I chime in? When we're in the car and holding hands, he will move our hands to the music in funny ways, and I just grin like an idiot and giggle. When he gives me the littlest kisses just to make me giggle. When I'm having a PTSD or anxiety attack, he lets me grab onto his pant pockets or hoodie pockets because he knows it makes me feel safe and protected. Also, when I'm having those attacks, he lays with me and does the deep breathing exercises with me to help me focus on that to calm my anxiety. His laugh is the best and melts my heart. I love my man. Story 41. When she is really happy and laughs, she smiles and sticks her tongue out between her teeth a little bit. It makes me fall in love with her all over again every time. Story 42. She works as a part-time ballet instructor at a kindergarten through 8th grade school. Seeing her teach little ones always makes my heart melt. She's so good with kids, and watching her make ballet so fun makes me so happy. And I don't even like kids. Story 43. Anytime she initiates hugging or a kiss on the cheek, I don't think she is much of a physical emotion shower, so when she does give me something, I get all bubbly inside and ride that high for the rest of the week. Story 44. My wife will do weird dances when we play music in the house. I try to take a video any chance I can. I always keep a stern face on to let her know she's a weirdo, but it never fails to make me feel a certain type of way inside. Couldn't imagine a life without her awkward dances. Story 45. She messes up common English idioms because she is not a native speaker. Gives me Starfire vibes every time. Don't count your chickens before they cross the road. Me nods in agreement. Story 46. The way she sleeps, man. I go to sleep late and wake up early for school and work, and I love catching her with her arms all the way up over her head like she's airing out her armpits. She looks so peaceful. I always watch her for a second like a creep. She's so cute. Makes waking up at 4 a.m. worth it. Story 47. We spend our evenings in one of two ways. The first is together on the couch watching a show or movie we both enjoy and occasionally playing a board game. The second, I hang out in the living room while he's in his computer room. Anytime I get up and wander around, or he gets up and walks to the kitchen or living room, we give each other a kiss called the troll toll. It's silly, but it's my favorite when I forget. And all of a sudden I see him coming at me saying, "I've come to pay my troll toll debt," and gives me a big smooch with a gentle hug.